So for today, the Confederation of African Football, or CAF, has issued a request for information as an invitation to potential service providers across Africa for inclusion in CAF's database of prospective suppliers in the anticipation of the forthcoming AFCON 2027 tenders. So CAF is going to issue tenders for various assignments and jobs that need to be done in different countries, not just Uganda alone. It could also be Kenya, it can be Tanzania, but they are extending an opportunity to anyone, any business in goods or services that is able to deliver on such, to submit information to CAF. So these tenders for various services and goods are primarily to support implementation of AFCON 2027. Therefore, CAF, through the local organizing committee, is asking reputable potential suppliers of various goods and services to express your interest by starting with registering with CAF. And once you register, they'll include you in their database so that when the time for releasing the tenders comes, they contact you to deliver that service in Uganda or another country. Now, it is important to note that only potential suppliers who have registered with CAF, please note, you will have to register with CAF, not the local organizing committee, through CAF's official website, and we have included the website in the information handsheet we've given out. Then you'll be notified by email to submit the information that is required for you to participate in that procurement. Potential suppliers who do not submit their request for information profiles before the publication of these tenders will not be eligible for consideration as suppliers. Now, the information being asked for really is primarily focusing on the identity of your business or you as a consultant. It is mainly the legal status, your physical contact, and a website. We experienced a situation during CHAN 2024 when some people were coming to do business with the local organizing committee. They had several boxes ticked on their profile, but you find the company has no website. But CAF is insisting that for you to become a supplier of their goods and services for AFCON 2027, you must have a corporate website. It is a must. So please, this is a wake-up call for our businesses around. And as we've been saying, AFCON is bringing opportunities, business opportunity to this country. But it is also an opportunity for our small, medium-scale businesses to step up the game and do what or have in place what the big boys do have, especially a simple thing as a corporate website. Now, once you get this opportunity of CAF pre-qualifying you to supply services or goods for AFCON, you can execute these assignments in either Uganda, Kenya, or Tanzania, or any other African country in future. You can also be asked by CAF to execute their assignment in Europe, America, or Asia. So really, this is a big opportunity for our local businesses. If you get pre-qualified by CAF, the door and landscape is open for you to go beyond your local government, beyond the country, and to have a footprint of your business over the globe. The potential services that CAF is requesting for prospective supplier information include, but not necessarily limited to these: 1, catering services, ticketing solutions, equipment and services, translation services, this is languages, various communication services, digital services, broadcasting services, hotels and accommodation, hospitality, transportation and logistics, event operations, fan zones management, IT and technology solutions, branding, printing and signage, concession management service, as well as other general equipment and supplies. Now, there are some service providers in Uganda who helped the local organizing committee to deliver on CHAN 2024 last year in August. Please, we encourage you, if you still want to deliver services to do with AFCON 2027, get on CAF's website and submit information about your company. Starting with the hotels, the transport companies that helped us, the catering services, and we had several catering service providers at Nambole. Please, you have to register with CAF if you're to continue with us in delivering any service at these facilities during AFCON 2027. Do the needful. Broadcasting services, digital communication services, translation services, etc., as I had earlier on mentioned. The purpose of this request of information is really to map the market, and this request for information does not mean that you have won a tender. They are not asking you to submit a proposal for a service or good. They are not also asking you to give a quotation. All CAF is asking you to do is give information about your company, about your business, so that you get pre-qualified to supply our services when AFCON is here next year. And we still have a lot of time at hand, but please, a lot of time can also pass very fast. We do not know when CAF is going to close this window of asking businesses to submit their interest to supply goods and services. And once you have submitted this information to CAF, it also does not mean that you now have a contractual obligation with CAF. That is not yet. You will get to the stage of contractual obligation later on. In future, once the procurement process is initiated, separate documentation shall be required and competitive procedures put in place in line with CAF's procurement framework. And the submission of all this information will again be to the CAF website. We would like also to remind all our people and entities here that please, no one should ask you to pay any money for submitting this information to CAF. CAF is not charging any fees, and neither is the local organizing committee. You also do not need any person to recommend you to CAF. Please, you don't need any person to recommend you to CAF. Just go on the website of CAF as per the link that I'm sure we are going to share with you. That link will also be advertised. The information I'm talking about is going to be advertised in the New Vision, Daily Monitor, Bouquet Day, and the Observer newspapers this week. We are working on putting those adverts out. So please look out for these adverts and do the needful. For the avoidance of doubt, this request for information from potential suppliers is strictly about services and goods being procured by CAF and not the local organizing committee. We are not yet at the stage of getting suppliers that strictly want to provide services to the local organizing committee. What we are announcing today is for businesses that want to do business with CAF. For those that want to do business with the local organizing committee on services and goods that are restricted to Uganda in our AFCON 2027 operations, we shall come up with that announcement later at an appropriate time. They're going to run this advert, as I said, on newspapers of national circulation, as well as our website, and this information will also be on CAF's website. On a different point, by way of reminder and emphasis, the local organizing committee wants to reiterate or emphasize our message during the previous press briefing of 17 April 2026, asking proprietors and owners of potential accommodation facilities for tourists seek information from the Uganda Tourism Board on how to become an accredited service provider for accommodation facilities for tourists. And such facilities may include hotels, hostels, apartments, guest houses, private homes, lodges, or any other facility designated by the minister responsible for tourism as an accommodation facility for tourists. Now, we would like to remind proprietors and homeowners that are interested in this service that please, this is the right time for you to do the needful. This is the right time, especially for apartments and hostels and individual homeowners who would like to offer tourist accommodation services such as Airbnb or Booking.com to find out more information on how to attain listing as a service provider, identifying with the respective brand. It is a process and requires preparation. We want to really emphasize the issue of preparation. The issue of preparation, we seem to have time, but actually there is no time. Some of the people who want to come to Uganda and are looking out for accommodation facilities, they'll begin as early as August, September. So if you want to get into provision of tourist accommodation services such as Airbnb or Booking.com, kindly begin visiting these platforms, find out the minimum quality standards required so that those platforms can list you and you get visibility as a service provider for accommodation. The number of visitors we expect into the country of around 500,000 people will need space to sleep and meals to eat. The fact that you declare yourself or call yourself an Airbnb or Booking.com service provider without these platforms listing you does not mean that you are one of them. So please, for the sake of credibility of doing business in this country, follow the standards that are listed out by these platforms. You can apply, again, get assessed, and be listed by these service providers. Lastly, regarding progress we are making on intersectoral commitments for AFCON 2027, work is progressing well on the sports stadia at Akiboa, Nambole, and Hoima City Stadium. Hoima City Stadium, it's as far as correcting the issues that CAF identified in their February inspection. For Nambole Stadium, the UPDF Civil Engineering Brigade is moving at full steam, doing the upgrades. They're almost done with the decommissioning, demolitions are going on. And to allay the fears of the public, the part of remodeling does not involve bringing down the whole stadium. it is really a very small chunk, and they are working internally, mainly affecting stands 12, 13, and 14. So it will be a very beautiful and magnificent stadium once it's completed. All the training facilities except Fufa Kadiba Stadium and Satito Winyi SS grounds have already been handed over to the contractor, who is the UPDF Civil Engineering Brigade, and work is progressing well on all fronts. The respective contractors for Hoima Regional Referral Hospital, Masindi General Hospital, Buseruka Health Center 3 upgrades, access road works around Hoima City Stadium and Nambole have already been identified, and awarding of contracts is going to be concluded soon. Lastly, CAF has provided to us as a local organizing committee invaluable input in determining the scope of works for upgrade of select hotels in Hoima Masindi cluster. We had a short list of about 30 hotels, and with the assistance of CAF, we've been able to reduce this list to no more than 12 hotels, and we are recommending these hotels to the Uganda Development Bank, UDB, to be considered to access the government credit facility that is within the 101 billion for upgrade of hotels. Now, the process with the UDB is concluded. The beneficiary hotels will be made known to the public for accountability. We shall come here, inform you of each of these hotels that have been cleared and the upgrades that are supposed to happen in each of those hotels, so that the whole process is transparent and you hold the service providers also accountable and responsible to the contractual obligations they have with the government. So with that, I'll take any questions before I ask Mr. Hantali to give us a Luganda rendering, but also explain for you a little bit more on the services, so that you get, for example, some of you will be asking, what does event operations mean according to CAF? What does ticketing solutions, equipment, and services mean according to CAF? Because what works with CAF is not necessarily what has been working with other businesses or events in the country regarding sports. So, Mwami Serumaga, I'm ready for questions.
Thank you so much, Doctor.
Yes, Saka.
Marina 2.
Yes.
Talked about.
Look behind the hotel. There's a hotel there. We used to call it Mameritos Hotel. Sports View Hotel. If you look at Sports View Hotel, the UPDF Civil Engineering Brigade has already started working on that ground. It's going to become a parking lot. Now, after the valley, all the items you're seeing there are being disposed of through a procurement process, and we hope that by end of May, all that will be gone. That is part of parking space. So there is a lot of parking space being expanded at Nambole Stadium. All the waste items that you're seeing that were mobilized from the first phase of Nambole are going to be cleared off that site. So just give it some time. I am sure that by the time we see CAF come for the second inspection at the end of August, the site at Nambole will be completely different. Okay? Mwami Serumaga.
That's why we shall have a call.
Wanjise Echachi.
Just a second. We all know what the right honorable speaker added to Ugandan food. You very clear know that about that. I beg if it's okay.
Okay. I think what Mr. Ichuli is talking about is during the budget formulation process by the government, the budget for 26-27, the Federation of Uganda Football Association made a direct request to the Speaker of Parliament to have, I think it was over 200 billion included within the budget under the education sector, specifically under National Council of Sports. Now, at a higher level engagement, the Minister of Education and Sports at the time, that is First Lady Janet Museveni, called for a meeting and guided that that procedure was not appropriate. All matters of requests for additional funding to agencies that receive subventions from government has to come through the responsible sector ministry and minister. So that issue was handled at that political level. The over 290 billion that FUFA wanted added to their subvention by government did not take place. It did not happen, and that is, I think, all I can say for now. So, under the National Council of Sports budget, you only have what has been cleared by First Lady Janet Museveni as a responsible minister to be apportioned to FUFA as either a subvention or special funding towards preparations for AFCON 2027. So yes, it is true, but it did not materialize. So, but again, FUFA was guided on the right procedure. We hope that next time they will do the right thing.
Lawrence, you district.
Yes, Lawrence.
On 13th of this month, the CAF president met the Pamoja delegation, the team in Kenya, and there was an oversight committee that was put in place. Of course, to look up infrastructure and other sectors. We are aware that the draws for the qualifiers are happening today. Among the things that the oversight committee is supposed to address among the 3 countries is also the hosting of this the tournament that is coming up as Uganda